ones that are not a regular x axis, y axis, or y equals x line, or y equals negative x line. So let's see here, what is it? That tells the square RSTUE with vertices R, S, T, and N. These things are given. So they tell us to make the reflection through the line x equals negative 1. So let's plug in and plot this, graph this RSTU square with the red. I've plotted that. So RSTU is our pre-image, and that should be reflected through x equals negative 1 line. So if you see that this violet line, that is exactly over here where is negative 1, x is negative 1. So I have drawn this line, x equals negative 1. So through this line, it will be reflected. So according to our knowledge, what we should be doing is we should be now looking for how far distant the pre-image is from the line of reflection. So from R, this is 1 unit. So we go 1 unit for the image. So that gives me this R prime. And then from S, let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So we go to further 6 units. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So that's our 7 S prime. And then once we talk about our U is how far? 1, 2 units. Okay. So we go 2 units further, preserving the same distance. So 1 and 2. So that's our U prime. And then from T, you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So we got our T prime. So we join those points and got this is prime, R prime, U prime, T prime, which is the image which is mapped this RSTU through the line x equals negative 1 to the image that is S prime, R prime, U prime, T prime. And then we just write down this coordinates of R prime, which is here. You see that negative 1 for X, negative 1 for Y. You see from this X is 1, 2, 3. So that's 3. All right. So likewise, we can count this S prime as negative 7 and 4. And this T prime is X is negative 8. So if we start counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So negative 8, and Y is negative 1. Okay. So that's this. And then Y prime is from this Y axis, we start counting 1, 2, 3. So that's negative 3, and this negative 2. So what do you observe over here with this line? If it is X equals the number, this type of things, then all this Y values preserved. This 3, this 4, this negative 1, this negative 2. Okay. The only these things is X changes. So let's work with something with the Y. So here in number 7, I have a figure that gives me that parallelogram C, D, E, F with vertices. This C negative 4, negative 4. So I have sent C negative 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 negative. Okay. And then with D negative 2, so towards right, towards left, negative 2, 1, negative 2, and 0. So that's on x-axis. Okay. So that's D. And then E is the 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 1. Okay. And then F, that is 4 and negative 3. Okay. So I have drawn this one. Then my line of reflection is Y equals 2. So where is Y equals 2? Okay. Y equals 2 should be from 0, this 1 and 2. So this violet line represents my, this violet line represents my Y equals 2. So let me write Y equals 2. Okay. And now likewise just a reflection the way you work. So from E, how far? This 1 unit. So 1 unit will go, that gives me this E prime. And then for F, how many units? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that gives me F prime. For D, we go 1, 2. So 1 and 2. So that gives me D prime. And then C, how far? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I get C prime. Okay, so now I plot the value for E prime towards right. So C prime. Let me write the C prime first. So C prime towards left, x-axis 1, 2, 3, 4. So -4, and towards up, that is +8. Okay, so that should be +8. And then for my there's D prime, that is x is -2, x is -2, and my y is can be seen as y is 1. For my D prime, y is wait, this is D prime, so y is from here 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's 4. All right, and then my this E prime, x is 6. Okay, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and then y is from this 1, 2, 3. So that's 3. And then for my F prime, that is x is 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's up to 4. And then my y is from this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and that's a +7. Okay, we don't write +7, just redo it. Okay, so this is the way it works. And now I would like to introduce that we have done translation. From translation, a composite transformation takes place. From translation, reflection takes place. So now that we should be in a good position to translate and reflect, or reflect and translate. So let's go back to our first packet, and let's see how it works. So here is the thing. Okay, so first let me work with a thing that is we are given a triangle XYZ which vertices x -3, 7, -1, 2, -2, 1, and z is -5 and 2. Okay, so there's a deflection in x-axis. So first let's draw the pre-image. So our x, this is x, and our y, this -2 and y, and our z is -5 and 2. Okay, and that is reflected through x-axis. Okay, so through x-axis, let me count and do it in this way. Okay, so 1 unit, so 1 unit further, and then my z is 1, 2, so 1, 2, so that's my z prime, and then my x is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so we go further 7 unit, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so that's my x prime. Now after that is telling that is translation through x plus 9. So it slides or moves towards right. I mean x-axis +9 and y-axis +2. So let's start moving. So with this y prime, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 1, 2. So that's my y prime. Okay, so let's write this y double prime. So this is y prime, and this one we name it double prime. Okay, and then let me take my z. Okay, so it was right 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 1, 2. Okay, so that's my z prime, double prime. Okay, and then my x. Okay, so it was right 9 unit, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and it was up 2, 1, 2. Okay, so that gives me x double prime. So now let's join this figure points to get the figure. Okay, So that's my final image. So now they asked us to give this x prime, grab the level figures under the given transformation. This is a double thing. This should be x double prime, this should be y double prime. Well, they gave it as final one, doesn't matter. This one they didn't want us to name, but I named it, and that way it will be in the region. So x prime is this value. So let's count x. So 1 2 3 4 5 6. So x is 6 and y is 1 2 3 4 5. So that's 5. And for my y prime, x is 1 2 3 4 5 6. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 7. And my y is 1. All right, and my z prime through x 1 2 3 4, and my y is just exactly on x-axis, so that's going to be 0. That's it. Okay, and now I want to work with another one that should give me something. I want to calculate this one, number 10. Okay, so this one I have done manually, and this one by using the rule. Okay, let's see how it works. So we are given with that parallelogram QRST. The vertices are Q is 2 negative 1, R 7 1, S 6 minus 2, T 1 and negative 4. These are the coordinates. Okay, so now they say first make a reflection y equals 4. So I have written this one, and let me draw that. Okay, so our q is 2 negative 1. So x is 1 2 and negative 1. So that's my let me use red ink for that, q. And then my r is x7 y1. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, and y is 1. So that's my r. And then my s is 6 and negative 2. So x is 1 2 3 4 5 6, and negative 2 is this one. So that's my s. And then my t is x is positive 1, y is negative 4. So 1 2 3 4. Okay, so that's my t. Okay, so let me draw that. So that's my parallelogram. All right. Okay, so now I need to reflect it through y equals x. So if you remember, the reflection rule for y equals x is the switch. X becomes y becomes x. So I switched that one. So negative for 2 and negative 1, it becomes negative 2 and negative 1 and 2. For 7 and 1, it becomes 1 and 7. So for s, it becomes 6 negative 2 becomes negative 2 and 6, and t becomes 1 and negative 4. So negative 4 and 1. Okay, so let me now draw that one. So q is negative 1 and 2. So let me draw it with green color. Q prime is negative 1 and 2. So negative 1 and 2. So that's my q prime. And then my r prime is 1 and 7. So positive 1 7 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So that's my r prime. And then my s prime is negative 2 and 6. So 1 and 2 negative 2 and 6. 1 2 3 4 5 6. So that's my s prime. And then my t prime is negative 4 and 1. So 1 2 3 4, and that is 1. So that's my s prime. Okay, so let's join them. So that's my after the reflection. Okay, so now I want to translate that. They ask is translation x minus 3 and y minus 7. So what I do, I just add negative 3 with them. So negative 1 with negative 3 gives me negative 4. And once I add negative 7 with 2, I get a negative 5. And then with the next one with 1, negative 3 gives me negative 2. With 7, negative 7 gives me 0. So my r double prime is negative 2 and 0. And s prime is negative 2. So once I add negative 3 with that, I get a negative 5. And with 6, once I add negative 7, then I get a negative 1. And then with t, once I negative 4, I add negative 3, I get a negative 7. and with 1 I add -7, I get a -6. Okay, so these are the coordinates that I get for the vertices of x, q double prime, r double prime, s double prime, and t double prime. Okay, so now let me plot them. Okay, let me make it a little shorter so that we can see it. Okay, so now I do it in this color. My q double prime is -4 and -5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, -4, -5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's my uh, mm, q prime. Okay, so that's my q double prime, and then my r double prime -2 and 0. So -2 and 0 is here, so that's my r double prime. And then my s double prime -5 and -1, so -5. This is 2, 3, 4, 5, and then that's -1, so -1. So that's my final ones for s double prime. And then t double prime -7 and -6. Okay, so -7 up to this was 5, so 2 furthermore this, and -6. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that's my t double prime. So let me connect them and I get my final image. Okay, so now let me write down that that is -4, mm, -4 and -5, and for r that is -2 and 0. So s prime -5 and -1, and t prime -7 and -6. Okay, so that's my final one. This is the way it works. So some of the assignments were given for your classwork. Solve level 1, and I would like you to solve from here this 11, 12. Okay, wait, there's a translation first. Uh, let me do first you translate, then you reflect. Okay, so next mm, mm, okay, I'm sending in another way. Okay, I'll mark them. Okay, so thank you very much, and have a